Good morning on this rainy day at Newton Ridge Hobby Farm. I'm in the high tunnel looking at the outside of my garden. I feel like it's been raining for 2 weeks straight every day, which the garden loves, but I can't get out there very often. I want to go play in the garden. Luckily, I do have the high tunnel, and that's actually what this video is about, is to give you an update for what's growing in my high tunnel. As you can tell, I'm still working on getting the materials to build the beds. I do have the whole plan laid out, and what I plan to do in my high tunnel, it's on my channel, so to keep updated and kind of see the progress, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really would help us out. Let me know that you're there. But I want to give you an update on what's growing in here, how well it's doing, and the new things we've got going. So over here, we've got my tomatoes. Now keep in mind, they don't look very full and bushy because I do hard prune them. I do keep them limited anywhere from 1 to 3 liters. But these tomatoes here, these are granny cantrells. These tomatoes will get 2 pounds in size on average, and we're definitely loaded down with these tomatoes. Now, a big reason why I prune the way that I prune is because I want the plant to really focus on developing these tomatoes and growing the tomatoes. Now, as I get a few and we start getting some steadily coming in, I may let them bush out a little bit more, but as of right now, we're going to keep the anywhere between 1 to 3 liters. We've got the green beans that were supposed to be bush beans that are climbing. So I'm wondering if there was just a mix-up at the packing plant, or whatever you call the seed company, and I got pole beans. So yeah, these are trying to climb my tomatoes, and I'm kind of torn whether I want to let them do that or not. But I did actually get quite a few beans off of these the other day. But we've got the beans here. We've got lots of basil in here. The basil is loving it. And we are just loaded down with our tomatoes. Again, these are the granny cantrells. Now, y'all know basil is an amazing companion plant for tomatoes. It really helps to repel the pests. And it's supposed to enhance the flavor of the tomatoes. I really wouldn't know if it does or doesn't, because I've always grown basil with my tomatoes. Maybe I should grow one without the basil. So yeah, we've got some more. Now these are growing so tall. Like this, I'm standing up on a board to reach this part of my plant, and I'm not a short woman. I am almost 6 foot tall, so these plants are very tall. To be fair though, the bed is 3 foot tall. So that probably is adding to the height, but these plants are just kind of shooting up. This one, I know I said I do, 1 to 3 liters, but this one kind of got away from me, and now it's formed 4 liters, but all 4 liters look so good. I just can't bring myself to chop it off. So I'm going to let it keep it. We're going to keep the 4 liters because I can't. They're too pretty. I can't cut them off. So we've got, this is a 2 liter, and we're getting more and more blossoms up here, and the wind gives them a good little shake, so they like to self-pollinate. Lots and lots of tomatoes. I did have some black spots show up on a couple leaves of my tomatoes, so I did spray it with some Dawn dish soap. It's kind of my go-to for some black spots. It doesn't always work, but I like to try it first. I'll also do neem oil if it comes down to it, but neem oil, it can kind of mess with bees if they get into too much of it, where the Dawn dish soap just kills it, and then you rinse it off and it doesn't mess with the bees. So Dawn dish soap tends to be my first go-to. I keep saying Dawn dish soap. Dish soap, all in all, works great. I just like Dawn because I buy it in bulk. But yeah, we've got lots of tomatoes, lots and lots. Now we're still at the Granny Cantrells. This is an heirloom, and this is actually the first year that I have grown these tomatoes. I got the seeds from the My Gardener website, and that one is MIGARDER. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I wanted to try out their seeds. I loved the descriptions that they had on their websites about what the plants were, what to expect from the plants, which makes kind of picking some new varieties easier. Now this guy, it's kind of bending over because it's gotten so heavy. Look at this tomato. It almost looks like 3 tomatoes grown into one. It is not. It's just one very strange looking tomato. But I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. Now these Granny Cantrells, another reason why I chose to grow these, thanks to the wonderful description on the My Gardener website, they're very meaty. And I like to make sauces. I like to can my tomatoes. Stay tuned and subscribe because there will be videos on those. And it said that it described the Granny Cantrells as 2-pound tomatoes that are meaty, great for sauces. So you're gonna get the biggest bang for your buck. I don't know if you've ever canned tomatoes, but having to can a bunch of smaller tomatoes that are a lot of seeds and a lot of tomato juice, you end up losing a lot of the bulk for the sauce. So that's why I chose to do those. Now we're moving on. These are our Bonnie Best tomatoes. These are like a slicer tomato. Not quite as big as your Better Boy, but just your typical, 6-8 ounce tomatoes. And we've got lots and lots of clusters of tomatoes. We've got our leads. I'm breaking to my 3rd lead on this one. Now this plant, we're loaded down. My husband counted the tomatoes on one plant, and one plant has 40 tomatoes on it. And researching the Bonnie Best, you can get upwards of 200 tomatoes off of one plant in a growing season. I'm sure that the 200 tomatoes is not where you're limiting your leads like I do. You probably need a lot more leads, but the plants are just much more manageable. The pests are a lot more manageable when I can prune them and keep them with one lead. I can catch the diseases early. Like I said, I started to get a little black spot. I've got some Dawn dish soap on these. One note I want to make about the Dawn dish soap. If you're going to do the Dawn dish soap and it's a sunny day, wait until the evening, because you don't want the sun to bake that Dawn dish soap. I did it this morning, but it is a cloudy day and it's supposed to rain off and on all day. So typically what you do is you spray it on at night and then you rinse it off in the morning. So I'm gonna leave this on and I'll come out either tonight or tomorrow morning. I do have to go to work, so it'll probably be tonight, so that I'm not out here in the dark tomorrow morning before I go to work, and I'll rinse off all that Dawn dish soap. But it helps to kind of suffocate that fungus that's growing there. So yeah, we've got our Bonnie Best. Loads and loads of them. After seeing the amount of tomatoes that we're growing, I do preserve. I do feed my family off of this, but I had a feeling I'm going to end up with an abundance, more than I can eat, more than I can preserve. So I did sign up to sell at our local farmer's market. This is the first time I've ever sold produce at a farmer's market. I have sold some of my homemade cleaning products and all of that at a farmer's market years ago, but this will be my first produce. So wish me luck. So we've got these. These are still our Bonnie Best. They're not all quite as tall as the Granny Cantrells, but they're definitely putting in some work. And then right over here, let's find my tag. I believe it's a Better Boy. Oh, it's a beefsteak. So this one is a beefsteak. And that sucker is tall. So it's loaded. It's got some tomatoes. I don't know if you're familiar with beefsteak tomatoes. It's a pretty common and popular variety, but they're big tomato. Not quite as big as the Granny Cantrells, but they definitely get big. They're a good slicer tomato. People like them. I like them for sandwiches. Just your typical slicer tomato. All right, and we'll come over here. Now, I came out and I noticed I do have an aphids problem. I have a lot of predator bugs that I have found. I have a lot of your assassin bugs. I found soldier bugs, tons and tons of ladybugs. So I really don't want to put anything that's going to hurt them on the plants. And I've been trying to just let the predators handle the problem with the aphids on my eggplant plants. But as you can tell, we're starting to get a decent amount of damage. So I did Dawn dish soap this morning. The Dawn dish soap smothers and suffocates the aphids, but it doesn't mess with the predator bugs. So I put that on there this morning. I sprayed them all down really good. The tops and the bottom of the leaves. So you can see all the aphids on there. They will suffocate them out, and I will rinse these off this evening. But yeah, I've got tons of spiders, tons of assassin bugs. Oh, we've got an assassin bug right there. Look at that guy. That's an assassin bug. That's what we want to see. These are good bugs. They literally will eat like your aphids, worms. They'll even eat squash bugs. They are freaky looking. Let me see if I can get a little closer. They are a freaky looking bug, and when you see them the first time, you kind of want to kill it because you're like, oh my gosh, what in the world is that? Because they are a freaky looking bug. But these are a gardener friend. We want these guys. Now, don't mess with them. They will bite you. It's not poisonous, not really harmful, but it burns like a son of a gun. So, those are what you want to see in your garden. You want to see those. You want to see ladybugs, spiders, of course. All right, so then we've got the eggplants. We've got tons and tons of flowers. I haven't seen any eggplants just yet, but it's like a whole jungle in there. We've got our carrots growing in there, help keep the soil loose. And then we've got peppers. We've got banana peppers. We've got a little banana pepper growing. Carrots. More banana peppers. And that one's loaded down. We're just so many banana peppers in here. So I'll be pickling those. And then we've got our bells. Another bell. And I want to show y'all this pepper. It's supposed to be a bell pepper. It is definitely not a bell pepper. It is, let me see if I can find it. It's this guy right here. It's supposed to be a bell pepper, but that is not a bell pepper. Right now, it is shaped kind of like the banana pepper with a darker coloring. And I pulled a couple off that were about 4 inches long and about 2 inches wide at the top. And they are so good. I have no idea what these are. Now, I did do a Google image search, and it said it was an Italian pepper. Sweet pepper, so I'm thinking that might be what it is. I don't remember the name of it right now, but they are so good. They're good in salads. I cooked some up with some other vegetables the other day and roasted them. So good. So I will definitely be saving the seeds off of this and growing them next year because they're just that good. We got a bell in there. Oh, leaf got in the way. Lots of bell peppers. All right, and then our okra's taking off here. We've got our blossoms. Lots of okra. And then we got baby okra. Planted these a little bit later. And then over here we've got jalapeno peppers. I do have a confession to make about these jalapeno pepper plants. I did not plant these ones by seed. I found a couple that had a little plant cell going, and I picked up the jalapenos because my jalapenos did not germinate. I don't know if I just had the temperature wrong on the tray, or if I just ended up getting a package of not so great seeds, but none of them germinated. So I did pick up these. I picked up a couple Cherokee purple tomato plants. So I've never grown the Cherokee purple, but I've heard they're amazing. So I've got to get these beds filled so I can get these ladies put in here, the Cherokee purples. Speaking of Cherokee purples, I did have my first day at the farmer's market a couple weeks ago. We got rained out yesterday, so I didn't get to go yesterday. And there's a gentleman there who was selling plants, and he also had Cherokee purples. And so I planted them in here with my zinnias. We'll see how they do with the zinnias. I figured the zinnias were still small enough. So these are all Cherokee purples that I got from the gentleman at the farmer's market. And this is another Cherokee purple that I got from the couple that I found that had their little plant sale yesterday. So that's why that one's so much bigger. So we've got the zinnias, the Cherokee purples, and we come over here, we've got Better Boys. Now these plants are not as big. I seeded them at the same time as I did the plants over here. However, these plants got transferred into the high tunnel before these plants did. So these plants kind of stayed in a smaller pot longer. So they're not quite as big, but they're definitely trying to catch up. And we've got our not bush beans, so that kills me. Some marigolds here. But yeah, our Better Boys, we're starting to get some blossoms on them. Lots and lots of blossoms. I've got to do some more pruning on these and get them all trellised up. Got our basil in here, of course. And in here too, where I prune off the leaves, I kind of stick them in there. Let them root, and then I'll dig them up and put them maybe outside or just succession plant. And that way I have them in case I lose a plant in here. I've got a backup. And then let's see, this one is the beefsteaks. So, and here we've got more. This one is still a beefsteak. So I've got a little leader trying to grow right there. I got to trim that off. And then we come over here. These are 4th of July's. So 4th of July tomatoes, they are one of your early varieties. As far as being ready, they're about ready about the same time as an early girl. Well, they're ready beginning of July, kind of like it says. The tomatoes are, they're not small, but they're not huge. Maybe a 3 to 4 ounce tomato each. Great flavor, good early variety. So we've got some more 4th of July's, our basil, our sweet alyssum, some more 4th of July's. Going down here, some more that I'm stuck in there to get them to seed or to root. And then we come over here and our little teardrop tomatoes. These are San Marquis. They're aroma. They're supposed to be a little bigger. I grew them last year, but I think I had them too shaded, so they didn't get very big, so I wanted to try them again. And San Marquis, let's see, we got another teardrop tomato right there. Another one right there. So that is the update on the high tunnel. Make sure to like and subscribe and follow along to our journey to get the updates. And I look forward to hearing from y'all. Have a great day.